How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Pentagon Challenge. Hope you guys are doing well, you're keeping safe. We're back with another season review again with Real Madrid here, and we're still chasing that final Champions League, guys. As always, if you want to catch up with the save, what's going on during the week when I'm actually playing it, all of it is being played live at the moment on twitch.tv/Dave As a Party, the same as my YouTube username, and I'm normally live around 3 PM UK time at the moment for this week anyway, and then I'm back at work next week, so ideally we need to try and get this finished sooner rather than later. Let's go and jump into it though, guys. Firstly, I'm going to introduce you to some of the new signings that we brought in this season. It was another season where really there was certain areas I just wanted to really strengthen in. However, of course, after the Champions League final defeat last season, we had a new president. And he had, as part of his campaign, it was to sign 2 players. I actually sort of like this part of the game. It sort of makes it, you know, these 2 transfers are out of my control. I can't cancel them. I think the only other time it happened in this series was when I was in South Africa with Supersport. But the first player is Sergio Polikov. Now, you guys may remember him. We managed him at Inter. I actually signed him for Inter Milan. For £29 million. Our president signed him just 2 years later for £91 million. He did okay. Not really had a massive run of games, to be honest. We'll look at that a little bit more in a second. A goal every 164 minutes isn't too bad. But I'm thinking this season, if we can up his passing a little bit, maybe as a complete forward, we can start playing him a lot more, because he's a big player in terms of height, quite strong, quite quick, and just in front of goal, he should be an absolute talisman. So hopefully we'll make more use of him next season. In terms of player number 2, this was the second player that was brought in by the president, and it's this guy Andreas Muller. Now, again, another fantastic player. The only issue I had with this signing was that I already had 2 very, very talented right wingers. And this guy's come in. I tended to play with an inside forward on the right as well. With him being right-footed, that didn't quite work out. I mean, so you can see there, his left foot is reasonable though. So it's not too bad as an inside forward. But yeah, another player that came in from Bayern this time, 82 million. He was a little bit disappointed with his game time. Didn't actually score a goal for us in the league at all. He did grab one in the continental competition in the Champions League. But another not a bad signing. Then I started to bring in some players on my own. The first one being Ibrahim Acaba. If we were going to be playing with the system that we played with, you know, last season, as a halfback, this guy's pretty good. Good passer of the ball. Really tall at 6'6" as well. Mentally, he's fantastic too. And just to play, you know, for what, £47.5 million from Fiorentina. To be fair, they signed him for £3.6 million, which is an absolute steal. I don't think it's that bad a signing at all. Played a big number of games, to be fair. 22 games in the league. Played most of our Champions League games as well. He's been an alright player. You can see his average ratings aren't too bad as well. And he did grab a goal for us too. Next up was a player on loan. He's called Glauber. He came in on loan from Sociedad, and really I just wanted a backup player without really spending too much money. I tend to do that quite a lot, and that's something I'd probably recommend if you guys have got quite a strong team but you just want a backup player. Sometimes the loan list comes up with players that are maybe just a bit too young and maybe not ready for your team. But this guy was on the transfer list, and what I tend to do is, as long as I can afford his wages in full, the club normally want you to pay a fixed fee, which is normally his transfer value at the end of the loan deal. I just get rid of that and put an optional fee with maybe £1 million more. So the club tend to accept it, and at the end of the loan deal, I mean, if he's unbelievable for you, then fair enough, you go and buy him, and if not, it's no real loss. So that's what I've been tending to do quite a lot, and I've done it in, I think I'll do it in the next season as well. But this guy's a backup, and he actually played quite a lot of games, scored quite a few goals, scored a hat-trick in the Champions League for us as well along the way. 6'4", Mazzala predominantly, and you know, with those Mazzalas running in late, a 6'4" guy, you know, is very, very difficult to defend sometimes. So he did alright for us, to be honest. Another player with a decent average rating. Yeah, just did what he needed to do as a backup, did his job. Next up was a backup goalkeeper, Juan Manuel Pananqueres. Again, a player that at the time I didn't realise, but played for Real Madrid in the past, so it was a good option as a homegrown player. We did sell our backup keeper, which I'll explain in a minute, but 7.75 million. As you can see, he played 1 game for us in the Cup. I think we did win that game as well. We've had plenty of interest in him as well over the summer. Obviously, I've played the summer since this, since recording this video, but as a backup option, as a homegrown player for Champions League rulings and stuff, he's an ideal option really. And the final player was our only January signing. It was Jose Eduardo coming in as a left wing back. I've said it probably every video for the last 5 or 6 seasons that fullbacks are one of the hardest positions to get a hold of, and this guy's pretty good, to be honest. As a left back, great crossing, physically he's okay, he's still 27, so he's probably prime of his career now. Mentally he's good, and just technically he's a very good player. I think for £65 million, Man City signed him for 46 a few years ago. I think it's a good signing for us, really. Jose Eduardo, Brazilian, didn't really play much, but I think next season he'll probably get a big amount of football, to be honest, but I'm pretty happy with his contribution. Now, in terms of players out, Roberto Aymaz left the club. He was a player that missed the penalty in the Champions League. I thought, we can't have him, so we got rid of him. The backup goalkeeper, Eduardo Girardi, we sold on as well for £25.5 million. Dario Crisaj kept moaning about football, so we cashed in on him for £58 million. Enrique Flores is another young striker we've got in the team. He's a good player, to be honest, but I think we could probably get some money on him if we wanted to cash in. Still a fantastic option. He played on loan at Hamburg and scored quite a few goals. David Sangali, he left. He was a backup centre-back. He left for £12 million, going up to 14.25. Martin Schweder, he left the club for £60 million to join Manchester United. A good player. Bravery was a little bit low. Didn't really break into the team much. Silvino was a backup left-back. He left the club for £24 million, and just another player going out on loan there. Now, in terms of how we actually got on in the league, unfortunately, we finished off in second place, 93 points at the end. Just 3 points behind Barcelona, who, to be fair, had like an 11 or 12 point lead on us at one point. There were just little games where we dropped points unnecessarily. And for me, this season, it was that we just didn't have a prolific goal scorer. You can see there, Fabio Maria with just 13 goals in the league. And for me, if we want to start to win leagues, win Champions Leagues, we need someone that's going to be knocking the ball in 25 or 20 to 25 times a season. Maria, probably 7 or 8 of those goals came from the penalty spot as well. So that is not ideal. But our goal difference was still very strong at plus 64. So you could say, the goals were shared amongst the team quite nicely. Champions League, which we'll talk about in a minute, was a disaster. Really, really wound up about that. I really was hoping today's video was going to be on a better note. And in the Spanish Cup 5th round, we were knocked out by Atleti. And in the Super Cup, we were knocked out by Atleti as well in the semi-final. Tactical wise, at the moment, we as I say, we stuck with this formation. It worked pretty well, to be honest, for most part of the season. If we look at the schedule, we were getting massive. We beat 20-0, 10-0, 10-0, 18-0 against some teams there. And we didn't start off the season well at all. Draw against Sevilla and then a loss against Barcelona. How different the season could have been if we had won that game. And then we went on a really strong run, some nice wins along the way up until this game against Oviedo, which again we lost. And then we lost 2 on the bounce there against Valencia and Eibar. But the second part of the season was pretty solid. You can see here all of these wins. Such a nice run. The loss in the Cup didn't really bother me too much because it gave us a chance to focus on the Champions League. Our group was Rangers, Dortmund, Lazio. We won every game. I was really, really impressed with our run. Rangers actually did quite well. They actually got out of that group, and I think they got to like the first knockout round, maybe even the quarter-final Rangers. So fair play to them for that. But we played really, really well in the groups, even getting that 5-0 win against Dortmund where Glaubert scored a hat-trick. We then beat PSG very comfortably, 8-0 over 2 legs. Kelvin Obi and Moreira scoring in the first leg. Kelvin Obi, Santa Maria, Kej with 2. Ponikarov and Lorente scoring in a 6-0 win in the second leg. We then beat Liverpool. Liverpool have been such a bogey team for me. You remember with Inter, we lost against them a number of times. Gary Telford scoring twice and Camilo Martinez scoring. And then beating them 4-1 away. Gary Telford and Kelvin Obi with 2 each. And Robert Pavel. Now, we then played our old club Inter in the semis, and it was a disaster, really, guys. We won 1-0 in the first leg. Kelvin Obi, beautiful volley from outside the area. And then we just fell apart, and it was that man, Michal Toporkovic, an old favourite of the series, scoring the winner in the end, and I was so disappointed. I was distraught because, it was definitely a winnable game, guys. Definitely a winnable game, especially with not conceded at home. It could have gone either way, but yeah, really, really disappointed about that. Spanish Cup, we got 2 wins. We got knocked out, obviously, in the 5th round in the end to Atleti, as I've said. In the Super Cup, again, we lost out to Atleti. It was a 94th minute winner. This guy's called Alex Gaucho. He's a player that I've been chasing for a while, but I think with the whole Madrid rivalry, he's just not interested whatsoever. So fair enough for him sticking with his team, but yeah, he will not join us whatsoever. And I think you know what, we've got quite a lot of money in our budget still from last season. I didn't spend much money in terms of I spent money, but there was still so much money left in the pot. So I think next summer we could have a real interesting window. You can see the momentum there going into the end of the season was very, very strong. 4-1 win, 2-0 win. Really, really happy with how we ended the season. But I think going on next season, we've really, really got to push for it. I think it's do or die with Real Madrid. We've really got to start, putting the work in the Champions League. You can see with the club vision right now that it's just a C. They're pleased with some of the results, pleased with the level of support in my squad, but criticism, get the words out. I can't talk today. Some poor defeats. Now, I know there are some big jobs that have come available. I think since this video, we've been offered, this safe, I was offered the Manchester City job. Of course, going back to our old team. And you guys don't understand how close I was to clicking accept offer. I think the thing was, though, that I just know with Real Madrid, one, I'm comfortable with the team. I know who I want. I know the systems that work. But two, I think the squad strength is just so much better. So I didn't want to walk away. There's times where I'm looking at players that are valued at 70, 80 million pounds in this save. And I'm thinking, you're not even good enough to sit on my bench. So I think that's how strong our team is. And I've just got to tweak a couple of things and get it right. You saw this season, the teams that we lost to, other than Barcelona, right? Zaragoza, Eibar, Valencia, Oviedo. Maybe not Valencia, but Zaragoza, Eibar, Oviedo. We should be beating those teams. Draws against Leganes as well. That draw against Sevilla right at the start of the season. Things could just go so different, guys. So fingers crossed next week. We can really knuckle down and do it. But as I say, twitch.tv, 3 PM for this week coming, the week commencing the 8th of June. We'll be live predominantly around that sort of time. If you've got any questions about the save, guys, be sure to leave me a comment down below. I'm really looking forward to hopefully bringing this to an end sooner rather than later. We've got plans for a brand new Let's Play series. Hopefully that's going to be daily to give you guys so much content. But until next time, guys, please enjoy the rest of your week. Please stay safe. Hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I'll see you all very, very soon.